You just alluded to it, the 2023 General Assembly elections will be happening just at the time that the presidential contest is kicking into high gear. We're already seeing some Republicans nationally and in the Commonwealth turning away from Donald Trump, calling on the party to move on. How do you think the General Assembly candidates are going to navigate that? Are they going to follow Glenn Youngkin's example and sort of keep Donald Trump at arm's length? Will they cut him off altogether, or will they avoid talking about Trump and instead talk about Glenn Youngkin and the successes he's had in Virginia as the GOP leader? Mark?
That depends on the district. That depends upon the part of the state. And some parts of the state running as a Trump Republican will be effective for many Republicans.
And you think will continue to be through next year?
Absolutely, will continue. And, in answer to your question, whether it's a smart strategy to continue to cultivate the Trump base or to be more like Youngkin and keep it a bit at a distance and try to thread that needle, certainly for a general election cycle, the latter is the much greater strategy. And Youngkin running statewide, that was by far the much more secure strategy to being elected. But these Republican candidates who aspire to a House of Delegates or Senate seat have to get nominated. And within the Republican Party, with these relatively small turnout nomination processes, the path to nomination may be through the Trump wing of the Republican Party, even though that may not be the best path to victory in the general election. No different than what we saw in the national elections this year, of course, where a number of Trump-endorsed Republicans or Republicans who ran as election deniers were able to get a party nomination and ultimately ended up losing, and the Republicans ended up severely underperforming by historical standards.
Bob, what do you expect?
Yeah, this could turn out to be a real serious challenge for Republican candidates for a couple of reasons, I believe. The first is that Donald Trump is likely to be out there front and center himself on this, and if not dominating the political arena like he did before, certainly being very prominent. Secondly, we've already seen people in the Republican Party on the conservative wing take positions very different than Glenn Youngkin's appeal to the Trump base without actually hugging Donald Trump. We saw the Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears say he's just bad news, I'm not supporting him. Tim Anderson in Virginia Beach taken the same perspective and has now gotten into a brawl with the senator that he was an attorney for, Amanda Chase. So it just seems to me that it's going to be more difficult with Trump front and center for Republicans to simply take the Youngkin position. And then finally, if Youngkin's in the race, what do you say? I think at that point, they're going to attach themselves to Youngkin rather than Trump.
Can I tell you how many Republicans I've heard from who have said that Winston Sears tanked her future political aspirations as a Republican for statewide office?
Really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's accurate, but she took a principled stand, right? Saying it's time to move beyond the former president. But many Republican folks I've talked to said they don't think that's the right strategy for somebody who's looking for a party nomination within the current Republican Party, and that may have severely hurt her chances to move up in the next election cycle if that's what she had planned to do.